Cade Cunningham is not a concern. It's not a question. He's ready to be a star in the league. There are no questions about Cade Cunningham. Check. I don't think that there's any question. The Detroit Pistons today are a better team than they were last year. So Saddiq Bey, as we talked about, became the all-time three-point single-season leader for the Pistons. They got the win. And D-Mac, you had a critical question for me.
I went, hold on. I don't want to get excited yet. I got to go to my focus group, Neil Rule. Can I get excited about this win?
Here's the deal. Here's the deal with it. It's getting a little close right now.
What are we at? Because it goes by, if we're less than 2 games.
Blocks of 3. You got to be in the bottom 3. You get an equivalent chance.
And how close are we?
Fourth worst is not suicidal. I forget the exact numbers.
How far out of 4th are we?
Well, Oklahoma City won last night.
That's good,
which was good. They beat Orlando, though. That was a problem. Somebody had to win. Somebody had to lose. So right now the Pistons are sitting 1 game behind Oklahoma City for the 4th worst record. And they are a half a game in front of Orlando for the 2nd worst record. And Houston
That's too close, bro.
Houston is 2 games clear.
That's too close.
It's getting right down to it.
Boys. That was a nice win last night. Let it be the last one of the season. Thank you. I said it. You didn't have to. Keep playing hard, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, and that's fine. Like I said, it's not suicidal. The top 3 or the bottom 3 teams, as it were, get an equal 14% chance of getting the first pick. The 4th worst record gets a 12.5% chance, and the 5th worst record gets a 10.5% chance. So, it's one of those things where when you look at it, as far as the Pacers, I don't think, you would have to really win. Pacers got 25 wins. The Pistons have 20. There's 9 games left? They're pretty much cement. I think 4th is the worst that it could be.
We want to be first.
But you want to be, you want to be at least 3rd.
And why we're saying this is because you don't want to be living like the Lions are now, waiting to see what Jacksonville does at number 1, either with the trades or the draft. It just makes it easier because you get the same percentage in the bingo balls, and we're good with the basketball bingo balls, right? I like our odds. I mean, I'm pressing it up. It's like roulette. You hit your number, you double up. Let's go. Break this thing. I'm in the casino by the time I leave. What was it last week? And I forget who said it, but they said, man, guys are playing hard and losing well. You know what I mean? Losing by 3 or whatever. But you get everything that you want, right? That's what it is. I'd like to see them lose every game down to the wire, but it's nice to see that says something this year that Saddiq Bey sets a record, right? That's something.
Yeah.
There's something there. So,
and D-Mac, what did I say about this season coming into it, about this Pistons season? There's a good chance the record could be worse and they could be a better team.
Yep. Absolutely.
Are they a better team today?
They mirror the Lions in that sort of way. Where the Lions at the end of the season, they were more of a 6-win team than a 3-win team.
I don't think that there's any question. The Detroit Pistons today are a better team than they were last year. Does that mean that 100%. They're going to go to the playoffs? No. But you can't deny that. And why is that? They got the number 1 overall pick. They got Cade Cunningham, who there are no questions about. We settled that a couple days ago. Cade Cunningham is not a concern. It's not a question. He's ready to be a star in the league. He's going to be a star in the league. There are no questions about Cade Cunningham. Check.
Yes, sir.
Cade Cunningham. Check. There's 1. I think Saddiq Bey, I was worried about Saddiq Bey with the start this year. And when we had Jeremy Grant on the show, I think that was a very valid question, and it told me a lot. He didn't dance around it. He didn't say, I'm focused on the next game. When I asked him, D-Mac, and I said, when this is all said and done, are you personally going to go back and think about the fact that Cade missed the first, a month of the season, 3 weeks of the season, whatever it was, parlayed with the fact that you missed a huge chunk of the season, parlayed with the fact that Saddiq Bey had to figure some things out at the beginning of the year, to whereas if everybody was healthy and together, where would this team be right now? He flat out said,
batting a lash, he said, absolutely, think about it all the time. We all talk about it all the time.
Right.
So that tells you something, too, as far as what they're building and what they look at. A lot of the times I mentioned with the Wings this year, it's like the individual growth, learning who you are as a player. Well, the Pistons are in the same position, right? So now, and if you add another very valuable piece at the top of the draft with one of the top 3 or even 4 picks, how can it not make you better with the guy in Troy Weaver making the decisions? So again, the Pistons might be the team that is closer to being the playoff contender with the way that the basketball's set up and sort of the Eastern Conference, but they're actually building something that is sustainable.
And Chuck Brewer says, if we win, the fans complain we aren't tanking. If we lose, we need to fire Casey for not winning. That's Dwayne Casey is the least of the problems. One of the least of the problems to me. Like you can't question that man's resume.
Going back to Jeremy Grant, when we interviewed him last week, and just saying about Dwayne Casey, about him preaching to them, the work and the over and over and little things, and just you can get out of it the respect that they have for this guy and as a teacher.
I just think the people the fire Dwayne Casey people contingent out there, I think they were a little short-sighted, a little misguided, a little ill-informed.
What the big play is, the big plan,
the
long term,
the long play.
See, here's the thing that I see now in every organization is that it seems like every general manager has more of their long-term plan or more of an idea and not trying to sabotage it along the way by making irresponsible, decisions. They're sort of staying the course. And, when the Pistons and the Wings, too, you look at their coaching situations of people calling, for guys' heads or saying why it's time for a change and stuff like this. But the general managers are standing pat, and you don't hear anything about it. You hear out of Steve Eisman, I don't think right now is the time to address the coaching situation. We'll address that at the end of the year. Troy Weaver's always come out and said, Dwayne Casey's my guy. Get used to it. So that's...
And to answer Chuck's question... That's up to the organization, which you answered that, D-Mac, where when the organization comes out and says, we're cool, bro, then they're cool.
I hear you. We're cool. On your way.
Yeah. And Chili Damien says, Neil must never talk to Raptors fans. Well, I mean, that's an organization that's in a different spot, right? Where, and who knows, you give Dwayne Casey Kawhi Leonard... ... Right? Did the information change with that one?
That's actually a very interesting what if because, they said maybe it was Nick Nurse who was a better coach than Dwayne Casey, but Kawhi Leonard is a hell of a better player than DeMar DeRozan, and that made all the difference.
And he's a dude.
Oh, Kawhi Leonard is a superstar when he's on the court, of course, but he is a superstar, bona fide Hall of Famer.
He was on the court that whole playoff run for the Raptors.
And he was the reason they won. It was Kawhi Leonard. I know Kyle Lowry is a really good second option, but Kawhi Leonard made the difference. He put them over the top, and then he left, but he did his job for Toronto.
Because it's a players' league.
It is unlike any other league. It is a players' league, yes.
Because the shot clock winds down, and dude's got to go make plays.
And Kawhi Leonard made a lot.
And he made lots of plays. So that's what I would say to you when you say Neil never talked to Raptors fans. Well, I mean, he didn't get to work with Kawhi Leonard either.
But they also, didn't have to go against LeBron in the East that year. Clay got hurt. Kevin Durant got hurt.
No question.
There's a lot that went into it. And I think in the same circumstances, Dwayne Casey definitely would have been able to produce the same result that Nick Nurse did.
Yeah, because the ball still would have hung on the rim and then fell through.
We would have seen, Kawhi with his hands on his knees with Embiid behind him screaming his head off.
Yeah. So, there's always things that we can point to and say, well, that was a little bit different too. To quote the great Sam Flannel, the information changed on Dwayne Casey. So I think that's fair to say.